Good evening. This is Maestro with the Dawn of War 2 Retribution Elite Modcast. Today, we have a 3v3 on Leyrus Jungle Gate, the jungle reskin of Vargas Desert Gate. And our first player is going to be FireWarrior, playing as the Force Commander. Tanky melee hero that buffs and disrupts even, with Battlecry. His first teammate will be Crazy Chairman 96, playing as the Plague Champion. Ranged Chaos hero to start out, can get melee weapons later on, can also heal and repair. And his final teammate is going to be HeftyWinter, keeping his eyes hidden behind that hood. This is a Kommando Nob, sneaky orc, can infiltrate, can blow you up with guns and bombs and knives. I suppose he doesn't blow you up with the knives, but he uses all of those implements. Their opponents, we're going to begin with Doom, playing as Sindri, Trollface, Chaos Sorcerer, Spellcasting, and Battlefield Manipulation hero. And then next up after that, we're going to have a pair of Warp Spider Exarchs. We're going to begin with Lugganath Spider, and will be followed up by BloodyM. These are teleporting ranged commanders, good at harassment with all of their mobility. So then, this is a replay submission. It's been actually quite a bit of time since I have honored a replay submission, so, I figure it was due. Still going to be looking to catch up on some of the old Elite League matches. I know by now, in a way it's kind of old news, but as I have mentioned in a post on the last video that I had made public, I have been quite a bit busy. As some of you do know, I did get a job, which has now lasted a little bit longer than it was expected to. Originally it was going to be 6 weeks, then it was going until November, now it's going until February. So I have work, but I'm certainly also quite busy these days. Warp Spider Exarch going to go down while I'm talking about my personal life. Tactical Marines now a little bit isolated. Howling Banshees in their retreat path. Tactical Marines are scoring quite a few model kills on the Guardians in the process, though. Definitely unnecessary Guardian deaths there, given that those Guardians were actually just standing out in the open, were not in cover, and not even a single model taken on the tac squad, despite the Howling Banshees being there in retreat. Meanwhile, it does look like an orc win up in the top lane, but a red team win in the bottom and middle lanes, aside from the fact that we did have the Warp Spider Exarch going down. Kommando Nob out of cover right here, taking a lot of damage, but here are some hidden boys. They're going to take that initiation with the stun bomb, and then decide to chop up the Howling Banshees. Very well played there by HeftyWinter. Normally, you don't really want these Sluggas tangling with the Howling Banshees. Howling Banshees do have superior melee skill, so they typically win those fights based on their superior melee skill, which makes them proc special attacks. Sluggas, however, do have plenty of damage, so much so, are they going to take out this Warp Spider Exarch? I don't think they will. But it still was a nice play, getting the stun bomb as the start of that initiation. The Sluggas did not have full health, but they were coming out of infiltration, using that Hide to Boys Global. Now we are going to see the Shooter Boys as well as the Kommando Nob just focus on destroying this node, but it does look like the red team is going to be moving into the top. It does, however, look like Doom, instead of trying to capture the top, which he could to ease the VP pressure a bit on his team, he's going to look for an engage here. Does look like he might be engaging in a fight that I think he can win. Sorcerer was looking for the kill in that Kommando Nob, but ultimately decided that he couldn't get it. Now not the Raptors, the Storm Boys are jumping in. The Chaos Space Marines now in a huge amount of trouble. Coruscating Flame is put on one of those Chaos Space Marine squads, but one of them is already taken down. That second one, I think, just needs to get out of there before they lose any models. One model is killed, and then two, and the last one is going to be able to get out of there. But will the Slugga Boys be so lucky? They will. That's actually a huge win picked up by HeftyWinter there, and huge losses for Doom. Before I had even talked in that engagement, he had lost his Heretic squad somewhere. So quite a rough start for him. Meanwhile, a lot of things going on. Grenade will actually take out the Storm Boys, so things going a little bit harder for HeftyWinter than it initially looked like. Special attack also proccing, putting the Chaos Heretics in a huge amount of trouble. Can the Banshees finish off the Heretic squad? My God. Losses all over the place in this early game here. Meanwhile, it does look like BloodyM is just going to entrench himself over here. Not a whole lot happening. More going to be happening up here. And finally, we will see the Warp Spider Exarch, not even the Sorcerer, go over here to look for the victory point for the red team. as the victory point pressure has definitely not been in their favor for much of this game, but it does look like Bloody Mary's doing pretty well in the bottom lane. Despite the losses he had suffered, it is generally him with more control here. Assault Marines looking to jump in, most likely on the Rangers, most vulnerable target. Oh no, the Guardians kind of walked into that jump. But the Howling Banshees are here for the counter initiation, and not enough support. Grenade's gonna go on the rocks, not hitting the Assault Marines at all. I don't know what quite happened there. Oh no, the Howling Banshees just kind of face-tanking this against two tactical Marine squads. Not the way this engagement should go down, but unfortunately without the Warlock, it's not easy to just lead in and approach with any of these Eldar squads. And although I feel like Bloody Mary has generally been winning this lane, a few too many times where we are seeing his units just caught out in the open. Unfortunately, Eldar, at least in the early game, really can't afford to fight like that against Space Marines. All right, Plague Champion right here does have Mucus Discharge. We've seen a few upgrades all around. We've certainly seen one out of this Sorcerer. Already called out that Coruscating Flame earlier on. He's going to try to attack those Sluggas. No, he'll try to retreat because there are still too many Orc units in support here, and his lone squad, the Chaos Space Marines, were also forced off. Meanwhile, I was about to say we see a Blood Crusher purchase. Blood Crusher purchase also necessitates a Heretic purchase to support it. More or less can't really fight long term without a Heretic squad to support the Blood Crusher. Victory points now actually pretty even, and it looks like FireWarrior will move in, and I think he's in a pretty good position where he could threaten a Generator Bash if he's a little bit more aggressive here, but instead he is entrenching himself. These Tactical Marines, I'm pretty sure they're not really in cover because cover is directional, so now they will get in cover, but now they're also just eating shots from the Rangers. Yeah, I think this play by FireWarrior is a little too passive. Also, that's most likely an Overwatch mistake with the second squad of Assault Marines. At the same time, though, it might actually do fairly well against Bloody Mary, at least until Bloody Mary gets some kind of vehicle out, which we will most likely see Bloody Mary already in Tier 2. Assault Marines jumping in when they've got no health. This is, oh no, not good at all. Excuse me, Howling Banshees will cut up all of those Assault Marines except for one, but here is the second assault squad. The second assault squad should be resulting in a one engagement here for FireWarrior, and now he should be able to get a Generator Bash. I think if he's really aggressive with this, he should be able to get the full bash here. I would almost even like the scouts up over here for contributing to the Generator Bash instead of this Force Commander, who doesn't actually have enough health to tank anything else. Instead, the Force Commander should be the one capturing this power node. So while all of this is happening up here, more interesting things are happening up here. Maybe they're not more interesting. Oh, man. What's more interesting are the Khorne Marines going down. Doom just not having an easy time of it this game. Khorne Marines, oh no, that should also be a dead Sorcerer as well. Sorcerer 100% should not have been allowed to get out of there alive. Heretics were taken down, but there's no excuse for the Sorcerer not going down there. Meanwhile, it's going to be a dead Force Commander as well. It's been a bloody game, particularly for our Chaos player. I would say he's trying to contribute skulls to the Skull Throne, but, you know, he's not even playing as a Khorne hero. So what's the deal? So Bloody Mary now with the Wraith Lord, and FireWarrior has no answer to that whatsoever. He'll be getting to Tier 2 soon, so he could, of course, be looking at some upgrades. Missile Launcher on the Tac Squad, one of them, possibly even both of them. Most likely not really ideal to do that. Power Fist on the Force Commander, Melta Bombs on the Assault Marines, so he's got plenty of upgrade opportunities, but FireWarrior is also spending so much money on just reinforcing his squads. He's got a very infantry heavy and rec heavy army. He's probably got a really low rec income, certainly, yeah, compared to everyone else in this game. He's got a very low rec income because of all the upkeep of having double Tactical Marines and double Assault Marines, and he keeps losing too many models because for the most part, he still doesn't actually have what he needs to be able to fight Bloody Mary. So Bloody Mary, yeah, in general, I'd say he's still winning this lane. Heretic Squad right here for Crazy Chairman. What are they even doing there? The Plague Champion will be going down as well. This has been such a messy game. Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines also caught out of cover, being flanked by the Guardians, who in most cases would just lose to Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines, but the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines were not targeting the Guardians. Guardians, however, also quite isolated. They'll get ambushed by a whole bunch of orcs. With also this whole bunch of orcs right here, they kind of have their choice of either do they want to destroy this power farm or do they want to take it for themselves. World is very much their oyster in that regard. Wraithlord is here, but it is not completely uncountered. There is a squad of tank buses right there that can put some pressure on it. Guardian weapon team is setting up. That is going to be a lot going on right here. Stun bomb goes in, but the Sorcerer launches out some Doom Bolts. Then he has to retreat. The tank busters are using a short-range barrage on the Guardian weapon team. And now the Warp Spider Exarch, fully upgraded from Lugganath Spider, looking to get into melee with the tank busters to make sure that they can't do any of their AV damage to the Wraithlord. That being said, eventually this Warp Spider Exarch gets a little bit low on hit points. He has to retreat. Unfortunately, he teleports into a position where the Slugger Boys are able to catch up with him, and they take him out before he can get out of there alive. This is looking pretty rough for our red team right here. Bloody Mary has generally been the strongest performer, but it looks like he's on the verge of losing the Wraithlord. Looks like it's actually going to get out of there okay, if only either one of these Assault Marines had Melt-A-Bombs, they might have been able to finish it off. A single Melt-A-Bomb by itself would have not been enough damage, but the slow from it might have allowed a follow-up from one of these tactical Marine squads. We've got the double missile launcher attacks as well as a Plague Marine squad. I think it might have been better to trade one of those missile launcher attacks for a Melt-A-Bomb on the Assault Marines. Nevertheless, all units have been killed for Doom. He literally has nothing except for his Sorcerer, and he's building a Land Raider Phobos. Assault Marines are in deep. They're going deep sea fishing, and the Sharks are biting back. One Assault Marine model goes down. Lucky that it wasn't two. Meanwhile, missile launcher attacks, not doing a whole lot. Can just bash this farm. And they are uninterrupted at the moment. Warp Spider Exarch might come around here to have a few words with them about that, but I think at least one generator will go down. Warp Spider Exarch actually decides he has better things to do, so the generator bash should continue here. There will be some generator bashing happening up here as well, although I'm wondering what happened here. This was the one that, you know, I'd seen them destroy the node before. I guess they didn't actually take it. Dark Flames! That's not a great time for a Dark Flames. Even with those stick bombers walking into it a little unnecessarily, it's a very unimpactful Dark Flames in that particular moment. Except for the fact that he's standing in it! He went back into it! Those stick bombers went all the way down to 6 hit points. Alright. The Plague Champion, I think he is lucky enough to get out of here alive. He does have the Armor of Pestilence, so he's actually got quite a bit more health than it looks like he does when there's only that little chunk where it looks like there's about 20% of his health left. Alright, Assault Marines looking for the engagement. They will jump in. This is an Assault Squad that does have a Sergeant. Second Assault Squad is a little bit late to the party, but I think if it's just infantry on infantry, there are a lot of things here that are looking good for the Space Marines. Shotgun going to go in, just kidding. Grenade going to go in on the Shotgun Scouts. One squad of Assault Marines getting pretty low, but the second one is here to relieve them. Unnecessary retreats, though. No reason that those Scouts needed to retreat. So that most likely means that that was just like tried to drag and select multiple squads, and unfortunately selected some squads that did not need to retreat. And I think that is actually going to cause this to be a lost engagement for FireWarrior. I think it was looking good up until he retreated some squads unnecessarily. Meanwhile, it looks like the fight isn't even over, because here is HeftyWinter coming in for the support. He's got his tank busters right here. and they will look to put some pressure on the Wraith Lord. Meanwhile, the Howling Banshee's coming in here. So is the Wraith Lord. Going to get in nice and close. Going to look to get into melee range, possibly with the tank busters. No, they will actually just back off here, deciding that they're just going to get overwhelmed. Here is the Phobos out here. I feel like everybody else, well, okay, not everybody else is in Tier 2. In fact, most players are actually in Tier 3. We did also see the Avatar come out. But this Phobos certainly going to be a little bit overwhelming to the infantry armies. Tank buster shots, the initial barrage or volley went in on the Sorcerer, so the Land Raider Phobos has not taken that much damage yet. Meanwhile, the Seer Council looking to get in here, and they will mop up the floor with pretty much any squads pretty quickly. Right in the crosshairs from that Kommando Nob going in on the Land Raider Phobos. Not too much effect. Plague Champion really also can't do much here by himself. He's mostly just forcing a retreat on himself by doing this. He's putting some damage on it, but they can tank all this damage as much as it feels like it is taking some time, unless there is some kind of further follow-up. But otherwise, I guess this is about the time where the red team starts to come back into this game, only just now realizing how much the victory points have slipped away from them. Wrath of Cain going to go out from the Avatar. Does not actually... Okay, no, caught an Assault Marine. That Assault Marine's actually in a huge amount of trouble. That might have actually resulted in the kill on the Assault Marines. I was mainly looking at the tack squad that was closer to the Avatar at first, which was able to dodge it entirely. Looks like another tack squad going to get caught by the inability from the Avatar. Wailing Doom comes out. No micro away for that Tactical Marine squad. But yeah, that one Assault Marine model that did get caught by the Wrath of Cain, I think that actually did result in the kill on that squad, since there was a big knockback on it, and then there was the follow-up from the Seer Council. Warp Spiders have already used their teleport there, so yeah, they don't actually have an easy way to get out of that, since they just burned the teleport cooldown, and they could have technically walked out of it, but they were just a little too slow in that for it to actually matter. Anyway, Avatar is now in some trouble. Okay, the Autarch going to try to relieve the Avatar just a little bit. Unfortunately, the Autarch realizes that she was going into range of the Plague Champion. Plague Champion could stun her. Autarch, not Autarch. Now the Avatar is basically gone, I think. Where are the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines going? They are the main source of damage. They went away, and this basically lets the Avatar get away. The Looted Tank is trying to pursue. I think 2, maybe 3 more shots will finish it off, but eventually they decide to back off. Oh, infiltrated Land Raider Phobos. If it can open fire on the Looted Tank, that could mean the end of the Looted Tank. Just one volley from the Land Raider Phobos takes quite a chunk of health out. Looted Tank can't take much more, but I think it's just barely outside of the Land Raider Phobos' range. Meanwhile, fights are still happening up here. Kommando Nob has been taken out. The Howling Banshee's going to rip apart these Stick Bombers. Only one model left on that Stick Bomber squad. Meanwhile, the Looted Tank, 287 hit points, but nothing to really threaten it at the moment. The Rangers sitting in cover. Only 2 models. Level 3 Rangers with almost 600 hit points is rather interesting. Got a slight lull in the action. Let's take a quick look at some hero upgrades. None on the Force Commander. Full upgrade on the Plague Champion, which we have seen. Plague Fist, Armor of Pestilence, Mucus Discharge. Kommando Nob, currently not awake, but we know he has that rocket launcher. And that is going to be the end of the Looted Tank. Doom does have the Robes of Torment, in addition to the Sword of Flame that we've seen earlier, and a completely unupgraded Warp Spider Exarch for Bloody Mary. A stark contrast to the fully upgraded Warp Spider Exarch from Lugganath Spider, but unfortunately kind of just I feel like a UI oversight by the Dawn of War 2 devs, which of course it means it'll never be fixed or altered, where when a hero is incapacitated, their upgrades are completely hidden for no good reason at all. Alright, so we are going to see the Chains of Torment used. This is going to be a Nurgle Predator. Nurgle Predator having received some slight nerfs. Maybe more than slight, but definitely receiving some nerfs in any case in this version of Elite Mod. Drive out of the beams, please. Meanwhile, Chaos Predator of Nurgle, I think, has been more or less forgotten about. and I think it's gone. It only needs one more shot from the Plague Marines, and they're 100% going to get it. In fact, the Tank Busters will beat them to the punch. Okay, Tank Buster Barrage going in, I think. Oh, no! Oh, my God. That, like, came so close to taking it out, and now it's still taking shots. Needs to keep going. So does this lone heretic. At this point, it's clear that he is being sacrificed. He's even Doom Blasted. Absolutely sacrificed to the Chaos Gods. Tank Bust is still going in for this, and especially if they decide they won't even need to hide the boys. They will actually just finish off, and they'll level to 3 with that kill on the Land Raider Phobos. Anyway, a lone red team unit here that I literally can't see because of the victory point. Victory point obstructing my vision. Had to turn things around a little bit. Anyway, Warp Spider squad here. Currently just putting in a lot of damage unanswered. It's going to be another Wrath of Cain out of the Avatar. And that should be a dead Tzeentch Chaos Space Marine squad. Indeed it is. Terminators are out here for Crazy Chairman. They will need to teleport away. And they're actually still in quite a lot of trouble. We are seeing Seer Council chase after them. Seer Council, though, yeah, I mean, some damage is still being done, but I think there might be just enough threat to be put on the Seer Council to prevent them. Oh my god, no, they will finish off. I thought the stun bomb was going to connect with them and stop them from being able to pursue the Terminators, but they finish off the Terminators, and apparently they're not done. Right now, they're just keeping HeftyWinter in his base. Eventually, though, they will need to retreat. No, he's actually looking for a vision for an Eldritch Storm. Oh, my God. I'm not actually sure if that took out any squads for HeftyWinter. He had 2 squads with less than 40 hit points that were just barely able to get out of there, rather luckily. And it's actually super lucky, given that those 2 squads were level 4 and that he did not lose either one of them. That being said, Red Team's certainly coming back into this game. They are being incredibly oppressive in this top lane. They will take the power node up top. We're going to have some more Khorne Marines out of Doom. Hopefully they fare better than the last squad of Khorne Marines. This is not the engagement that they want, though. This is going from bad to worse, so he retreats them out of there. Oh my god, still loses 2 models in the process. Yeah, that was just a whole bunch of stuff that Khorne Marines do not want to fight. Chaos Heretics, Force Commander with a Thunderhammer, and a Plague Champion with a Plague Fist who is level 7. Khorne Marines not going to win that any day of the week. Still loses 2 models from it. Late Chaos Space Marines out of Crazy Chairman. One going to be upgraded to Tzeentch. The other one, also going to be upgraded to Tzeentch. So yeah, I mean, late Chaos Space Marines need marks. Tier 3 Chaos Space Marines, especially if you're getting them fresh at level 1, they're not going to contribute very much without upgrades. Meanwhile, it does look like we will have another squad of Heretics. No, I was going to say, I thought they would be sacrificed to the Chaos Gods, but they are pulled out of there just in time. Meanwhile, this is going to be the Avatar coming in on the flank. Wailing Doom is going to go out. How many orcs will be able to get out of there in time? Looks like the Stick Bombers will not be sold. Did the Stick Bombers get wiped? No, I don't think they got... They got... That wiped the Stick Bombers. Stick Bombers just gone from that Wailing Doom. Avatar looking to get in a little bit closer, taking so much damage from the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines. Okay, if it has a Wrath of Cain in retreat on all this, if it's ready, it's just not soon enough, or maybe it's on cooldown from a previous time. Trying to catch all those orcs, but not quite able to do that. Land Raider Redeemer here will be hit with a Haywire Grenade. There is also going to be an Autocannon Terminator squad. I don't know if this will be enough quite by itself, though. The Land Raider is very unsupported, but there's still a lot of damage that needs to be done to take it out. Currently, it's not even moving, though, so maybe it will. I very much believe that the Chaos Terminators can tank much of this. Might lose a model or 2 in the process, but now it looks like the Land Raider Redeemer is trying to get out of there. frag assault recently used, I believe, to threaten that Seer Council. Might have actually only hit them on a retreat. Here is going to be a call-in. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be a Terminator call-in to try to threaten the Fire Prism, but they're going to find themselves being attacked by... No, the Khorne Chaos Space Marine's not going for the Terminators. Khorne Chaos Space Marine's going for the Land Raider Redeemer. I don't think they put enough threat on the Land Raider Redeemer, and they can put a ton of threat on the Terminators. Although, it's somewhat questionable with them not having the Aspiring Champion. Nevertheless, the Terminator call-in does not get the value that FireWarrior was looking for. It definitely was looking to put some threat on that Fire Prism, but had to get out of there pretty soon once the Khorne Marines approached, and then the Khorne Marines revealed that they weren't even going for the Terminators. Doombolt's going to go in. Unfortunately, it's only a 3-bolt volley from the Doombolts. Did not have enough energy to make it a 6-bolt volley, so not a whole lot done against those Terminators. Okay, here is the approach by the blue team. Terminator's going to jump in. This is incredibly risky from them. They need some support. They'll also be hit by the Tome of Subjugation. Sorcerer also in a position. Okay, he was being shot a little bit. Where is he taking the Terminators, though? What is he doing? Okay. All right, Terminators. I'm actually not 100% sure I agree with that subjugation. Typically, the main thing you want to do when you subjugate Terminators with the Sorcerer is you want to burn the teleport cooldown. But the teleport cooldown was already burned before he subjugated them. And then he actually walked them away. Normally, when you subjugate Terminators after you burn the teleport, you want to walk them toward your base so that they're farther away from their own. And Terminators are going to get out of there amazingly. I actually think they really do not deserve to be alive. Howling Banshees also could have punished the Terminators, but instead they walked away to another engagement. Anyway, Plague Champion will be going down there. Somehow, the Seer Council making that happen, or maybe it was the Falcon, or maybe it was one of the Fire Prisms. A lot of Eldar vehicles right here. But this Falcon could really use an energy shield. This is a Fire Prism not dodging that at all. Eldritch Storm does go in. Doesn't look like a single bolt actually hit the Land Raider Redeemer. So this Land Raider Redeemer has not been snared or disabled. It's moving forward. It doesn't actually have a whole lot of anti-vehicle threat to put on the Falcon or the Fire Prism. It does have a multi-melta on top. Short range. This is still looking pretty questionable for the Land Raider Redeemer. The Falcon's just barely getting out of there alive. This one could still really use an energy shield, and the Fire Prisms will manage to finish it off, possibly along with the help of the Chaos Terminators. However, one of the Falcons will be taken down. Looks like a second one might be taken down. Activates the energy shield in time. Now the Fire Prisms are in a huge amount of trouble as well. Maybe not a huge amount of trouble, but they need the Disperse Beam. Okay, not in a huge amount of trouble, actually, at all. But the Tactical Marines were definitely still allowed to get unnecessarily close to the Fire Prisms. And Fire Prisms also not quite on point with disrupting those Tactical Marines as early as they should have. Victory points have now been pretty close to being evened up here, and the red team will continue to take victory points in their favor. We might see this Tank Buster squad go down. I think they'll be okay. 48 hit points, and they'll manage to make it out of there alive. Level 4 Tank Busters, definitely want to keep those alive. Unfortunately, at some point, HeftyWinter did lose those level 4 shooter boys that he had kept alive through one Eldritch Storm. They weathered one storm, but perhaps not another. Grenade's going to go in. And by grenades, I mean actually single grenade going in on the Noise Marines. But what do the Scouts hope to achieve here? I suppose they will be dislodging the Noise Marines that would prevent a decap, certainly make a decap a lot tougher. But if there's no follow-up there in the near future, there's not a whole lot it achieves. I think the Orcs managed to make it over here and have a chance to contest this victory point before the Blastmaster Noise Marines are able to make it back here. Okay, we've got Commandos. We've also got a Kommando Nob. Ideally, they definitely want to be looking for the kill on this Chaos Predator, but they still don't have any kind of snare. I feel like the positioning... Okay, they get super close, but now the Khorne Marines are also here to protect. We're also going to have a Summoning Circle Global. I don't think this is going to be the play to take out the Chaos Predator. In fact, the Commando Squad is actually in a huge amount of trouble. I think they will just barely manage to get out of here alive, infiltrating and then running away in a different direction. Las Cannon Predator here by itself no longer has a Kommando Nob and a Commando Squad to help it out with it. That is going to be another Haywire going in, and this might be a dead Las Cannon Predator. Khorne Marines chasing after it. Khorne Marines switch targets. They could have finished off the Las Cannon Predator. Okay, now they'll go back to it. And this time I think they will finish it just barely, and indeed they do. Need to retreat out of there as they're at risk of losing a model. There we go. One does go down. And they shall know no fear, activated by the Tactical Marines. Now we have the Commando coming back in here, looking for that flank. Do we have one more Tactical Marine missile shot? No! And now the Nurgle Predator starts to regenerate its health. One more missile shot will not take it out, but the Tank Buster Barrage might... Okay, that is the end of the Nurgle Predator. Doom actually managing to build up quite an army after losing so much of it in the early game. Ooh, but those level 4 tank busters, they are going to be going down, and despite the early game the early and the mid game being in favor of the blue team, this is looking like a red team game. These scouts are on a suicide mission. They throw a grenade. It knocks over a Warlock leader on the Guardian squad, but not enough to actually do anything to them. GGs are being called, and it looks like that will be the red team taking it. Crazy Chairman apparently wants to make a last push. Orbital bombardment. They're just throwing out whatever they have left, but I don't think they actually make it on here to get anything done. We'll see. Okay, I'm wrong. We had GG's called. This game's apparently not over. Fire Prism way too close. Another missile goes in on the Fire Prism. It exposes rear armor now. Okay, the Plague Marines will not be able to get another shot off. That is going to be a Dark Flames, but honestly, Plague Marines and Chaos Terminators, they're not overly concerned with that. Actually, I don't know. Maybe they should be. They're losing a lot of health. They're going to be the end of them. Maybe they should be concerned with that. I think there actually was a change recently to Dark Flames where I believe it had a change in its damage type. And it may actually be that the change in the Dark Flames damage type may be making it quite a bit stronger than it was before. But anyway, who cares about patch notes? We've got 7 to 44, and it's a no-cap game. What is this? Chaos Terminator's looking to find this victory point right here, but the blue team going to look to find this victory point over here. Okay, single 1-0. Victory points tick down to 4. But who is going to take this one? It's going to be the blue team, it looks like it. We have a Plague Champion who I'm pretty sure is immune to weapon knockback with that Armor of Pestilence, so he will not care too much about the Fire Prism or the Blastmaster. They will do some damage to him, and he is getting to the point. Oh my god, I believe he just used Pestilence Strike. But he killed the Warp Spider Exarch. Oh, but he goes down himself. So victory point stays in the hands of the blue team, and crazily enough, this game is not over. I thought it was over, but it isn't. Seer Council, it looks like they are going to have something to say about that. But here, Arax might have something to say about it from HeftyWinter. Arax does manage to knock the Seer Council off. They will also retreat. Oh no, the Imperial Abyss. I don't think that was the time for the Abyss. That was 500 red used just after one nuke. I mean, it does delay, but I don't think it's the optimal time for the delay. Save the delay for when there's actually a unit on it. Oh my god, Mega Boom Shot. Well, not Mega Boom Shot, but just a... I don't remember the exact name of the ability for the looted tank. It is difficult to remember the different names of the looted tank ability with the battle wagon ability, but either way, the activated area of effect ability, I don't think it actually was used because that looted tank was taken down. It is 4 to 11. Oh no, it's a double cap game. It might be the blue team taking this after all. Unbelievable. Well, that will be it. Quite a 3v3 to get back into the thing of things. It's actually been even a while since I've cast a 3v3 with all of the focus on the Elite League. But nevertheless, that will be it. Blue team does take it. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a good night.